based on the average CPA, lock in that bid, increase the budget, and let's go. Okay, that's the process there. So another big issue, guys, you want to definitely take a look at after you start scaling up big, when you start spending like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K a day, start looking at ad set overlap, right? So Facebook now has mentioned many times in many different places that they want you to consolidate your ad sets, have less ad sets with bigger budgets, right? So you don't want to have hundreds of ad sets running anymore. What works best is consolidation. So all your targeting audience should be saved as well. When you save each targeting each audience, you can plug it into this tool, audience overlap, right, which is in your business manager. You can actually compare two audiences together and see the overlap there. So if the overlap is over 75%, like you can see right here at the bottom screen, 75% or higher, you want to consider combining those interests or audiences into one ad set and consolidate, right? Because there's too much overlap happening there, and that can actually hurt you in the auction. The only way to get around this is by having multiple ad accounts, but you don't want to do that in the beginning, guys. It's a nightmare to manage. Just one ad account, reduce the overlap as much as possible, below 50% is even better, and just consolidate as much as you can. Bigger audiences, bigger budgets, less ad sets. Okay, that's it for 2018. Now, new best practice. Again, like I mentioned, you're going to get rewarded with bigger budgets. Now, in terms of the audience size, when you're scaling with manual bidding and you're consolidated these ad sets into bigger ones, try to aim for at least 10 million plus audience. Now, why do we do that? Number one, you're going to have lower traffic costs, lower CPMs, right? We pay by an impression basis. You're going to have lower costs on that end. But also, the ad set's going to actually last longer. Because Facebook has such a big pool of people to go after to find those buyers, it's going to last a lot longer than an audience size of 1, 2 million or less. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now this strategy, guys, in total, the whole point of it is to avoid scattering conversion data across many ad sets. Because again, if you're not feeding Facebook with at least 5 conversions per day per ad set, it's not going to get properly optimized. You might get lucky on day 1 or 2. You guys have probably seen this 100 times. You'll launch an ad set, you get a couple sales, you're all pumped up, and then it just dies on day 3 or 4. That's because it's just pure luck. 1, 2 sales doesn't mean anything. You need at least 3 sales, and you need to see that it makes even more sales after that once you go and try to switch that thing to manual with bigger budgets. So instead of scattering data across all these ad sets, we have a smaller amount of ad sets that are getting more conversions per day. It's going to optimize faster for you, and you're actually going to be able to scale faster and have less ad management with this strategy. Okay, and you can be able to find winners a lot faster day 1 or day 2 max. So the whole goal here, guys, is to understand how Facebook's algorithm works in 2018 and how to work with it instead of against it. Okay. So let's talk about the testing phase again. So again, a lot of people will struggle with even just the testing phase. I want to touch on this some more. So you want to start with higher budgets on auto bid. In the past, people were doing $5 budgets, $10 budgets. Doesn't work anymore. Forget it. Start with at least $25. Pause fast if no sale. What's the difference? Like if you have a $10 budget, you're gonna have to run that for 3 days anyway to see if it's gonna work or not. But why not just spend $25 day 1, get that data fast, and figure out if it's gonna work on day 1? It's gonna save you time, right? We're trying to find winners on day 1, day 2. We're not in this thing to find a winner in a few weeks or a few months. We want to figure something out this week, try to find a winning product campaign. So definitely $25 minimum budget when starting on auto bids. Just target USA to start. You're going to find 90% of your sales come from the States anyway. So just start with US. That's going to be your best foothold on the market to see if the product is actually going to work, right? Then later on, you can add a second ad set targeting worldwide, but excluding all these bad countries. So that's a great way to scale out as well. Obviously, it's by country or geo. Now, I want to talk about auto placement, no matter if you're testing or scaling or whatever. This is an interesting thing that's been working so much better than before. So auto placement, what does it even mean? Well, of course, there's different placements on with Facebook ad platform. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Audience Network. What else? There are instant articles, right? Even messenger ads now. So what does auto placement mean? It basically means that Facebook, you're going to let it figure out where the buyers are and place your ads on any asset it thinks is going to make that sale. So you might have some conversions on Instagram, you might have some on Facebook, you might have some on Audience Network. Doesn't matter. Facebook is going to optimize at a lot better rates by giving it more room to find those conversions. Okay, so definitely auto placement, what you want to use, and fewer ad sets, guys. This is the key. Fewer ad sets, bigger budgets, bigger audiences. That's the key for 2018 scaling. All right, so before we go into key number 3, guys, put a 2 in the box if you're pumped up and you're starting to understand how the new scaling process works for 2018. Nathan, we got Remy, Ido, I believe that's the way you say it right, Chris, Chase, we've got Jade, Nathan, Brian, John, Chantel, Chuck, Gerard, Steve, Aaron. Guys, thanks so much for following along. I hope you're enjoying this. We're going to go into Audience Expander now. So how do we actually expand our reach into new segments of the marketplace to scale? Well, lookalikes is the best way to do that, right? By far, lookalikes are the most profitable type of ad set, okay? By far. And also, guys, you want to consider like a lookalike is like your own traffic source. No one else has that audience because it's generated by Facebook for you based on data that you sent Facebook. So only you can have that lookalike, unless you like share it with a friend or something, but I wouldn't do that. Keep the lookalike to yourself. It's like having your own traffic source. So you need at least 1,000 people in the custom audience before making a lookalike. Okay? Unless it's an add to cart or a purchase, you can have 400 people in that custom audience and then make the lookalike. Okay, and that's from a specific product campaign. By far, guys, in the last 3 months with Q4 and everything, the best lookalikes by far are initiate checkout, purchase, view content, add to cart, page call to action, page engaged, and engaged post. Okay, so those by far you definitely want to try out first and go from there. So again, what is lookalike? It's basically just Facebook coming up with a brand new audience just for you, no one else, based on your database that you've sent it, all that data, whether it's people who clicked to the product page, added to cart, initiated checkout, or purchased. It's going to be able to build that lookalike audience only for you. And it's very, very profitable. Okay, so lookalikes here, you can see awesome ROAS, all over 2x, and we spend 25, we return 54, 589. Okay, so these are all lookalike ad sets, performed very, very well. Now, with the lookalikes for the engaged post ones, you want to do, those are under engagement. So you go to engagement and then you go to page and then you can select those page ones. Definitely test those out because they work really well. Now, this is really huge as well. I forgot to mention this. With the bigger audiences, 10 million plus, another huge reason for this is because it's so much easier to break down, right? Because what will happen is you'll see you're getting a bunch of sales, but maybe it's not profitable. So maybe you're at 1.5 times ROAS. You're not quite there. You're not quite doubling your money at the 2x ROAS point. What you can do is actually edit the ad set and change the age range to the best 10-year age range. So let's say 45 to 54 is performing best. Great. Change it to that age range, and now it's going to re-optimize and get you much better results. After that, you can also try splitting out desktop versus mobile with Facebook and Instagram. You can also split out right-hand side or combine right-hand side with desktop because it's desktop anyway. And you can even split out iPhone versus Android, iOS versus Android. These 3 steps we don't typically do, but you can try it and see if you can get some more juice out of the campaign. But by far, guys, segmenting at a 10-year age range works so well now, as long as that original audience is over 10 million. Because when you break it down into that new 10-year age range, it's still going to be quite large, right? So I hope that makes sense as well. So Geoscaling. This is interesting. So what do we do once we've kind of maxed out our audiences and lookalikes and all that good stuff? Well, again, you always want to start with USA traffic only. Most of your sales will come from there. Then you test worldwide, excluding bad countries. But then what you can also even do is test Europe as a region, Asia, North America, South America. But make sure you exclude all those bad countries on the previous slide that I showed you. So it's some other ways you can scale there by geo or by country, or region in that case. So now let's talk about broad scaling. What is broad scaling? Well, let's say you type in fishing into the ad set, the audience level there. You're going to click on suggested interests next. You're going to go and find one broad interest per ad set to test. So let's say you test 5 broad interests in the same ad set. You can actually swap out niche keywords to find more suggested interests. So let's say I just type in fishing. I hit suggested interest. It brings up like 10 interests that I can group together or split out into one interest per ad set, up to you. But then I take one of those suggested interests that I found, I plug it into the main keyword instead of fishing. Maybe I just type in fish. It's going to give you different suggested interests. Okay, so you swap out the main niche keyword to find even more suggested interests. With this method, guys, it's so easy. You don't have to do a lot of work with this, a lot of research. It's all right there for you using suggested interests. And it's really a gold mine of low competition interest to scale with, because people aren't going to take the time and do the work to uncover these interests. They're lazy, right? You want to go and do that work. Click the suggested interest, go through the interests, plug them in one by one, and see what else pops up. A really easy way to broad scale there after your lookalikes. Wow, that's a lot. All right, guys, so this is it. This is key number 4, what you've all been waiting for, why you came on this webinar today, is the Rev Up method. Now, this is not for the faint of heart, guys. Please use this method with caution. Do not go out there and blow out your budget, spend a bunch of money, waste a bunch of money, and come back crying or give up with e-commerce, right? This is only for people who have a successful product campaign, want to scale it huge. Very, very hyper strategy. With the strategy, again, 1.27 million in 2 months, 7 figures in 6 months, 900K in 6 months. It goes on and on. People are using the strategy. They've been using it for a while. I've actually came and redid the strategy based on the pusher method a couple of years ago. Now it's called the Rev Up method, new way to do it. It's the fastest way to scale your campaigns in 2 to 3x per day your ad spend by revving up the budgets. So what you want to do is crank up the budgets, rev them up at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m. You can test different times here, but basically 2 or 3 times per day, you can rev up the budget. So for example, if my ad set is $25 per day budget and I'm getting 3 times ROAS, a really good ROAS, you can crank that budget to $50 on the same day. If it's still working in the late afternoon, you can crank it again to $100 a day. So you can rev it all up on the same day each time you double the budget. Now, again, this only works with ad sets that are doing really, really well. Minimum 2 times ROAS. I would like to see 3, 4, 5 times ROAS, but at a bare minimum 2 times, right? You definitely want to have that wiggle room in case the ROAS does dip down, which it can do when you're scaling with this method. So the higher the ROAS on the ad set, the better. Then you can start doubling the budget 2 or 3 times a day. So let's go through this method as a live example. So overall, we spent $6,000, earned back 12. That's perfect, just under 2x ROAS. But as you can see here, what I would do in this case for this day is I would rev up this first one here. It's got 5.25 ROAS. Rev it up. We're going to double the budget. Same on the second one. That's over 2x. That's 2x. 2x, almost 3x. 2.59, 2.7. All those, I would double the budget at least 2 or 3 times per day. Okay. So again, guys, not for the faint of heart. You can double or even triple your ad spend on the same day very easily, and this is not a spectator sport. This is full contact. You got to be there all day watching these ad sets. There are third-party tools out there that can auto-optimize for you and help save money using this method, which I'll cover a whole other webinar. But essentially with this, you definitely want to be watching your ad sets closely. Make sure you don't blow your budget. Make sure it's working. If the ROAS does drop to below 2 times ROAS after a rev up, just pause the ad set and you can start it again tomorrow, right? No harm, no foul. So with this method, essentially it's a daily thing. You're looking at your ad sets now on a daily basis. Every day they're going out to war. Maybe some will die. You can revive them tomorrow, turn them back on, but some will come back home with a lot of money for you, right? So this method is really minimizing the timeline down to 1 day instead of usually looking at the last 3 days or 7 days. We're looking at literally each day as its own battle in this big war, right? So every day is a fight. Got to come prepared to win the auction. And again, very hands-on approach. But with this method, you're not going to miss out on any revenue gains. You'll be able to scale very quickly and efficiently as long as you're watching it. And it's a very active thing, right? So you're doubling the budget. If it doesn't work after the rev up, you pause it, try it again tomorrow with the previous budget. So it's a way to go up and down with the budgets to find that sweet spot with your ad sets. And it's definitely not going to work on all ad sets, right? But when you do make it work, you can scale very, very aggressively by doing like $300 a day to almost $50K a day. Okay, so it definitely works incredibly well. So you can take $100 per day campaign, scale it to $1,000 a day overnight, and your store revenue could go from 1K a day to 10K a day very, very quickly, just within a few days. Now, this method works best with higher budgets, so $100 plus per day. That way we can start scaling it rapidly, obviously using manual bid because the budget's over 100. Okay, so if the ad set doesn't do well the next day, again, guys, just pause that ad set or bring the budget back down by 50%, find that sweet spot and leave it alone. Please use this method carefully. Don't come back crying and say, hey, this didn't work, I lost all this money. That's because you probably didn't watch it. You got to be there. It's an active method. This is why I want to show you this last, because it is definitely the fastest way to scale and get profitable, but also very dangerous. So be careful with this, right? And please keep this method a secret. It's just for you guys, my highest value subscribers. And I'd love to give you guys massive value, and I'd love to hear your results with this if it works for you. So all in all, guys, these strategies I've shown you today, working together, are responsible for tripling my students' businesses in 2017. And I have no doubt it's going to happen again this year in 2018. So guys, throw one in the box if you think your business would benefit from similar strategies, just like the ones I showed you today. Gerard thinks so. Brian thinks so. Nathan thinks so. Chris, Cameron, Chase thinks so. Brian, Chuck, Jamie, Josh, Chris, another Aaron. We got Rick here. Dean, awesome, guys. I'm glad you're excited. So what I want to do is I want to invite you to something very special. This year, we're doing something massive. Put together the Millionaire Challenge World Tour. So we're going to 4 different locations around the world this year: New York, London, Sydney, and San Diego. It's going to be an absolute blast. I'm so pumped, guys, to be able to meet you face-to-face in person and coach you one-on-one, also in a group format setting. We're going to talk about more about this in detail, but first, take note. New York is coming up first. It's in 2 months, March 23rd to 24th. That's New York City. Then we have April 20 to 21 in London, United Kingdom. Sydney, Australia, May 25 to 26. And then we wrap up with San Diego, June 22 to 23. Guys, if you are in Canada, obviously you can come to, if you're in the East Coast, just come to New York City. Very easy to get there if you're in Toronto or anything like that. If you guys are in Vancouver, Canada, or West Coast, come to San Diego. So these 4 locations, the reason why I chose them is because they're central hubs and airports in the world. Pretty much anywhere, it doesn't matter where you live, you can get to one of these locations. So that's the reason why we did it, to really give everyone the opportunity and the chance to be able to come to Millionaire Challenge Live event and literally change your life, guys. So many people have come to these events and they're doing 7 figures now with their business. It's incredible. So what is the Millionaire Challenge and how does it all work? It's a live workshop. So it's a small workshop setting. Okay, there's 20 people maximum per event. And that's it. We want to keep it nice and small. You can see some pictures here, previous events. It's a very hands-on training, right? This is a workshop where you're going to be working extremely hard. Again, not for the faint of heart. You want to come prepared to work your butt off. I'm not just going to go up there and like talk and blabber the whole time. I'm going to do a module, then you're going to learn. So we're going to be, learning and doing. And there's no fluff with this, guys. This is direct, actionable content and steps and strategies that you're going to be implementing live at the workshop. Okay, I'm going to literally tell you, go and do this right now. Here's how to do it, and let's make money. Let's make money today, tomorrow. By the time you leave, campaigns will be up and running and scaled. All right. So for this year, there's going to be brand new training modules, brand new content never shared before, new ways to find products, new ways to test, new ways to scale, including the rev-up method in detail and great examples of that. Big point here, guys. There's going to be no replays. So if you think you can wait around for the replay to come out, it's not going to happen. That's why we're doing 4 events this year. You might even have to sign an NDA want to keep these new methods and strategies internal just for our best subscribers and for people to actually come to the events. So no replays with this. Very, very limited access. There's no virtual tickets or any of that. You got to show up, get in, put in the hard work, and get ready to work hard. Okay? Now, included with this is coaching. So we're going to include private coaching sessions. After each module, when everybody's working and implementing what I just taught, you're going to come one by one to the back of the room, sit down with me, and we're going to go through your business personally, one-on-one. Okay? Great, great chance. Guys, I charge 25 grand per day to sit down with you one-on-one. This is your chance at a much lower cost to come, not only get personal one-on-one coaching with me, but also with other people as well. Okay, obviously I can help you with anything you need, optimizing, scaling, whatever part of the process or business you're in, I can help you with. Now, this is huge, guys. I can promise you. The biggest reason why I'm so successful in my life is because of networking, 100% networking. Going out there, meeting people, chatting with people, building relationships. Because what happens is you create this community of this abundance mindset, right? It's a big difference between abundance mindset and scarcity mindset. Abundance mindset means people just like this on the screen here, people who are all on the same path, the same journey, who are on the same, in the exact same business as what you're doing, and we're helping each other grow, right? We're sharing strategies, sharing tips, we're testing things and sharing those results to see what's working best in the marketplace. So absolutely 100% masterminding with other entrepreneurs at these live events is huge, right? We have awesome lunches both days as well. We can share those strategies, share those methods, create relationships for life, guys. This is your opportunity to not only have a lot of fun, learn a ton, work hard, but also meet people who can literally change your life. They can tell you one golden nugget that can change it all for you very, very quickly. And we really push each other to grow as well. So there is like a competition happening in the room, which is also pretty fun as well. For like some people in there are brand new, like people doing 6 figures, some people doing 7 figures. It's really cool energy in the room, and everybody is really helpful to each other, right? And at the end of the day, guys, this is also almost like a vacation for you. You know, if you've ever been to one of these 4 locations, it's your opportunity to come and travel and get out behind the computer and enjoy, right? So we work hard, but we also play hard as well. Again, we got a couple lunches both days, and you guys can go out at night, have a bunch of fun. Get away from your computer, guys, move into a new environment and have an absolute blast. Okay, you're going to feel refreshed after and ready to go and absolutely crush it with your business. Now, results when people work directly with me one-on-one are astonishing. I don't care if you're making $100 a day, or $170 a day, $200 a day, wherever you're at, I'm going to push you to that next level. Okay, so if you're doing 100 a day, I'm going to show you how to get to 1,000 a day. If you're doing 1,000 a day, I'm going to show you how to get to 2 grand a day, or 5 grand a day, or 3 grand a day. Wherever you're at, I can help you get to the next part of that journey, right? 7 grand a day, 80 grand, 30 days, 6 figures, 30 days, 1.1 million, 1.2 million, 2.2 million, 1.3 million, 7 months. Guys, we have so many testimonials and people work directly with me and they get amazing, amazing results. Okay, 1 million in 5 months, 1.1 in 6 months, another 7 figures in 6 months, almost 900K in 6 months, 6 figures, 6 figures. And look at this, guys. I'm going to be showing you conversion tactics as well. Not only how to scale, but how to maximize your store using Commerce HQ. Change your life so that you can quit your job, spend more time with your family, travel the world, or build your dream home. Would you why? You cover the software that keeps us from overspending and pausing ads. Yes, absolutely. So at this live event, it'll be the first time ever I show you how to use a brand new tool